crazy. Wait. Did you just click on my video? That's dope. God bless. I hope you're having a good day. Let's get to the video. Roll it! Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio react to Daredevil's biggest Marvel moments. Yo, how y'all feel about the Daredevil Born Again show? Fire, bro. It's literally so good. It's so good. Y'all gotta check
Vincent D'Onofrio.
And this is our GQ action replay of Daredevil. Press play. Come on, let's get cracking.
All right.
My dog looks slim. Kingpin. Oh my goodness. Up. One take.
First of all, you see that microwave that hits the guy in the head. I've signed about 10 microwaves.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. Obviously, that is a very special moment. We shot it very early on, so it's the end of episode 2. But I was really still playing catch up on terms of all of the stunts and getting used to kind of doing some martial arts, and was not really in a position to do much of that particular fight because it all takes place as a one-er. And on one of the early takes, like, I swung a punch and I caught my little finger on the pole. I got injured in that fight sequence. And Chris is doing like 100 moves over the course of a day.
So you saying that was you that was doing it?
The little boy had to go home, wasn't allowed to be there anymore. On one of the final takes, we did the whole sequence, it worked out great. I got into the room to get the kid, and it's one of the ADs, like a 28-year-old guy with a headset. So I had to pick him up and carry him out as a kind of a placeholder. So.
Oh, but they should have called me. I could have got there. You would have opened the door and I would have been there. I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
Carry me out.
I think you know. You've been asking about me.
Kingpin.
I thought it was time we spoke. Say your name. You first.
He's talking to me on the walkie, and I'm off camera.
And we'd never worked together.
So I had no idea whether he could have been the shittiest actor I'd ever worked with. And so I was hiding behind some crates or something, doing off camera so he couldn't see me, but I could see him. And we're talking, and he's like doing really good with the dialogue and stuff, because he's, he's a great actor.
Your conviction, even if it runs counter with my own.
Yeah, keep telling yourself you've won. It'll make what I'm gonna do to you so much more satisfying.
This is Kingpin and Daredevil, and it's gonna be great. And that was my first real feeling of, my God, we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, really.
Because Daredevil works,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You really think that this will change anything? You think one man in a silly little costume will make a difference?
We shot it for real in the studio, do you remember?
Yeah.
We did it all on location first.
So cold.
And then that last stunt, you had to get like a lot of air. Remember you came down on me with that last punch?
Yeah, that's right. They built a little ramp.
Yeah. It was magnificent. It's so cool to be on my end sometimes, even though my face may not look like it or my attitude may not seem like it, but I'm watching Charlie like fly through the air at me. It's like fantastic.
You've just seen the Daredevil suit for the first time. I always thought that was really cool that they did that, and the writers did that in the first season, is they held that for so long, for 12 and a half hours.
Yeah.
They held the iconic red suit. That iteration was not comfortable.
Show me your hands!
I told you before, Sergeant. I'm not the bad guy.
And it was quite a fight scene.
We also lost a bunch of it.
That was
there
a good
a whole
fight
middle
scene.
portion of that fight that they couldn't. We ran out of time.
Yeah.
And we had to cut it. Don't you pick me up?
Yeah.
And body slam me?
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Not bad. Thanks. Guess I was wrong.
Man, the dialogue between them two is always good. Punisher and Daredevil, the dialogue is amazing, bro. Always.
Are you being a pussy? Don't get all sweet on me now, Frank.
First of all, I have to start by just saying, like, John's performance in this scene is brilliant. But the story here is, when the scene had been edited, the episodes were coming in, one of the producers came up to me and said, "Oh my God, that scene with you and John in the cemetery is so good." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, because it's all John." I'm like, "Great, good for him." It was, you know what I mean? I'm just listening. And they're like, and the bit when you're like, when he's telling you the story and you're crying. And I was like, huh, I don't remember crying in that scene. And I was like, okay, I don't remember that. And I feel like I would remember that. Anyway, when I went back and watched it, I remembered that before we get into that position, I'm carrying John Bernthal up a hill over and over again. So I'd be putting him down, and all I'd be thinking is, try not to breathe too heavily during his dialogue. So I am sweating profusely under this helmet. And evidently, some of the sweat has kind of obviously trickled down the mask and then is coming out from here.
Oh my God.
And it looks like I'm like shedding tears.
I had no idea.
And then when I told that to John, he's like, "That's what that was?" He was like, "I remember," and I was thinking, man, this guy's crying in my scene.
He thought you were upstaging him.
Yeah. Whenever we see him on the call sheet, whenever they've got him back into an episode.
It's such a delight.
You screw with me now, just a little bit, and you'll never really be with your one and only Vanessa ever again.
God, that's crazy.
Again. Go ahead. Yes, the son of a boxer.
The way that the structure of this scene was,
Bro.
I come in, I say my bit, and you basically quiet, and then you do your bit, and your bit, you lose it. And when it turned on to Vincent, before we rolled camera, he turned to the director and said, "I'm gonna kind of go in and out a little bit. I'm not gonna necessarily say all the dialogue in order. I will get through it all. Do not cut, and you'll get everything you need."
So it's basically you conjure up a bunch of, events from your own life that cause you anger or frustration or make you get that feeling like when somebody does something, says something verbal to your family or something. You think about those events in your life that you just want to kill somebody, but you can't. You get there and you ride that emotion like a wave, but the thing about waves is they dissipate, so you have to catch another wave. So instead of cutting, I would just get back to my own personal stuff and then get on that wave again and then start again.
Come on! Kill me! No! God knows I want you, but you don't get to destroy who I am. You will go back to prison, and you will live the rest of your miserable life in a cage, knowing you'll never have Vanessa. That this city rejected you. It beat you. I beat you.
I don't think I'll ever forget that scene.
That was good.
Just because of Charlie's performance in it. He was so mad. So I don't have anything to say other than Charlie's a really good actor. And he was able to get me where I needed to be because of his performance. My performance was raised to his level, and that part of the scene there.
Throughout that whole season, the writing that would come in was immaculate. And I almost had no notes really for Eric.
Me too.
But with that speech, we did go back and forth a number of times. My difficulty with it in its first iteration was I'd come to realize I was not going to end his life, but I was telling him that he was going back. And my problem with that was he's already been there, and it didn't work. It didn't make sense to me. So we reworked some of the scenes. We added the line, "I beat you." The understanding for that scene had to be that the anger was as much towards myself as it was towards him. The real hatred is kind of self-hatred.
But super, super deep.
Also, you can hear my voice is gone.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Oh. No way home.
That's great. Thank you. Well, I have some good news, Peter. I don't believe any of the charges against you are going to stick.
Wait, seriously?
Oh, I knew it.
Stick.
Oh my God, Mr.
Spider-Man,
Murdoch, thank
stick.
you.
Thank you, Mom.
That's amazing.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Okay.
However, Mr. Hogan,
Yes.
the feds are actively investigating that missing technology. There is still a court of public opinion.
Oh.
How did you just do that?
I'm a really good lawyer.
I was in the theater when the fucking audience went crazy.
I got to Atlanta, I'm still in the middle of COVID, so I had to do the 2-week isolation. So I got to the hotel and I texted my friend Andrew Garfield, who I knew was in the film, or it was rumored he was in the film, and I was like, I think we're doing a film together. And so he wrote back, no, I don't think so, buddy. I'm doing SM. And I'm like, yeah, we're doing a film together. And he's like, no, I'm doing Spider-Man. And I'm like, I'm also doing Spider-Man. And then he writes back, you're not in my script. I'm like, well, I'm in mine. So
to hear the reaction,
so they hiding it from each other,
meant that we are on their minds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's,
totally.
It's really cool.
Totally.
Because I'd never had that experience before.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how far we had reached with our show.
Yeah. So I was told by Marvel, you know, like, make sure you go on the first weekend. It's going to be so exciting. The reaction to you, it's a big secret. Everyone's going to like freak out. I live in Connecticut, so I contacted a movie theater complex, and Marvel helped me out and like.
I think it was some rumors that he was going to be in No Way Home, but it wasn't obviously it wasn't confirmed because it's supposed to be a secret.
Got ahead of the manager, can you sneak me in the back so that I can be there on the opening weekend? So my wife came with me and like she's filming my reaction. Nothing. Dead.
Oh,
tumbleweeds.
no.
Not a I remember one guy went, oh, cool. And that was it. And then my wife's filming. I'm like, turn off the camera. Turn off the camera.
She's so good.
She's so good.
What a surprise. Maya.
I forgot about this show.
We're family. Family. Sometimes family doesn't see eye to eye.
Hey,
I knew that I was going into a different tone, but it's my job as an actor to service the story. That's how I was brought up and taught. And so I just went with it, this whole other different tone. I had a great time doing it. And I got to meet Allequa Cox, who I thought was
Her name's Echo.
Amazing.
I remember correctly.
And it was on that show that somebody whispered a little something into my ear about her having her own show eventually. That really excited me.
There it go. Bro, the first
That sequence with Bullseye was one of the most complicated, especially that bit in the stairwell was one of the most complicated because I'm having to react to knives that aren't real. Normally you throw a punch, they react, they punch you, you can see the punch, you can see the kick, you know where it lands, you're able to react to it.
Yeah.
I was having to learn the choreography of my attacking moves and the knives I was taking. Whatever it was, like punch, punch, knife, knife. Punch, miss, knife. You know what I mean? And like, it was just so many extra beats. Like, the thing that we've done with this new show, which is 90% of our sequences are practical. So I'm learning them, stunt double's learning them, and we are shooting them in camera. Most of the computer-generated images are the removal of a wire, maybe. But there is this 5% that, in order to pay homage to what the character can do in the comics, we need a little bit of help.
Everybody was talking about this scene. Yeah, this is CGI.
See, with that stuff, we've never done.
Yeah.
We've never been able to do that little bit. And that ingredient for our new show is so cool.
It's so cool, yeah.
It's so cool.
That's what you get when you work for the MCU.
And it's just finding the right moments. And so, like, in this sequence here, Bullseye comes up the stairs, he exits onto the roof, and then in the background, I just suddenly appear. And the speed at which I'm there, and the pose that it's struck, there's a little, like, peppering of superhumanness, superhero-ness. You know, if you love these characters, it does get your juices running a little bit. It's exciting.
You're keeping tabs on me.
No, I'm not. I'm just call it professional curiosity.
I love how calm Daredevil was in this scene, bro. Because he was like threatening him in such a calm, cool way. It was so clean.
What profession would that be?
I'm a lawyer.
I'm a big football fan of soccer. If you support a team and you have your biggest rivals, if you could wish them into non-existence, would you? And I think the answer for most people would be no. That rivalry is imperative, is important to the fabric of your team. And I think sometimes these two feel that way about each other, even maybe unknowingly. They kind of need each other.
You're a real man of the people now.
A rich man, by his very nature, is self-serving. A mayor serves his city.
Huh.
Some scenes are harder to shoot than others because of your interior is so strong. Like, I remember my plan for this scene was I had the dialogue, right, that Dario wrote, and then I had an inner monologue that I wrote that went monologue over my line, so I would be saying a different line in my head than I would be speaking. That's a really tough thing to put yourself through because you're reciting two pieces of dialogue simultaneously. It can be really confusing at times.
Sure, it
and I knew
difficult.
that all of that would work for the scene. Thanks for listening to us and watching, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Right?
Right.
It's a good show. Definitely a good show, bro. He's so good as a blind man. Yeah, like, come on, man. I think I went to theaters to see No Way Home. But everybody went crazy when we saw that. Like, it was amazing. It's so different watching movies at the house versus in theaters because you can't rewind it in theaters. So it's like when you see a scene, it passes by so quick, it doesn't even truly hit you. Shit was fire, man. Watch the show, y'all. Watch the Netflix show first and then watch Born Again. You actually finished my video. I don't know if you watched a lot or a little, but I appreciate you. I'm going to see you on the next video. I'm out!